What's going on, everyone? So until I see Luka on the court, it doesn't exist, right? Like, I still think we're just living our an alternate universe, and our universe must have like merged together. We're just having these like fever dreams of an alternate reality. But no, in all seriousness, Luka had his press conference, his introductory press conference, and no, it was great, right? Like, you could see and just feel the emotions from Luka. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there is, this level of just excitement, right? I mean, he even relate that he gets to. It's been a dream of his. He play alongside LeBron. Looked up to him. LeBron gets to kind of be a mentor now for Luka, right? Luka didn't want to say anything bad. He said, I'll take the higher road. Didn't want to speak poorly, even though Dallas just continuously to piles on top of Luka, which I think is crazy to me. Again, it's one thing to trade your franchise superstar, right, at 25 and all of that, right? It's another thing to just keep, like, bashing him after. And all these reports and stuff that come out, it's crazy. But, look, Luka's a Laker now, so who cares, right? Like, he's on the Lakers. He said it himself. You don't come to the Lakers unless you're winning championships, right? Like, he knows what's at stake here. He knows what is expected here. He knows the level in which he needs to come here. And he said he's got the beach. Real quick, ESPN, who was a Brian Windhorst, said that he might not sign a new contract and da-da-da-da-da. Like, stop. You don't think that that's already been worked out? You don't think they've already had those conversations before they pulled off and traded Anthony Davis for Luka? And there were reports like the day after it happened that talked about him. He's expected to sign 3 years to get him through 2028. And then, because in 2028, that's when he'll be in the league for 10 years. And so then he gets 35% of the cap. So, because you got to think, the dude doesn't qualify for the Supermax anymore. This dude just lost like $100 million, right? Like, so he needs to get that back somehow. So what he'll do is he'll get that new extension. He'll sign through 2028. Then he'll, technically become a free agent. And the Lakers will re-sign him to a long-term deal in which he'll make $70 million a year, right? Like, he's still going to get his money. He's still going to get everything, right? It's just missed out on a lot. So not worried about him not signing. And not just that. And I've said this before because I've seen a lot of people just like, what happens if he doesn't resign? Whatever. Even if he doesn't, right? You're not, like, if you're going to lose Luka, you're rebuilding at that point, right? You would be able to trade Luka for everything in the kitchen sink, right? Because you're going to put Luka on the open market, which Dallas didn't. So if Luka does, like, for whatever reason, which, again, I highly doubt it, but let's say Luka does end up wanting out, right? And he's just like, yeah, this isn't where I want to be, whatever. Then the Lakers are going to trade him, and they're going to get more than what they gave up to go get Luka, right? Like, don't get me wrong, you're not going to replace Anthony Davis. He's incredible. But if you're doing this, you're going full rebuild, right? So you're going to get like 7 firsts, a young star. I mean, you're going to get a crazy haul for Luka, right? Because even if he hits free agency or is going to hit free agency and you're getting ready to trade him, right? Like, teams are going to outbid themselves, right? Like, so you'd be in great shape regardless. You're going to get some crazy haul. And the amount of money that he's going to make, teams wouldn't be able to just sign him outright. So literally, like, you will be fine either way. But Luka's not going anywhere. But outside of that, like, we got some updates, and I'll touch on Luka some more here in a moment. But outside of that, Maxi Kleber, he talked about that they said I think it was 8 weeks, and then he'll be reevaluated. So you're talking 2 months. So you're talking April, which is when he was expected to return. Like, that was kind of like the projected return date, like middle of April. So he might be back right in time for the playoffs. If you can trade him, I would trade him. You can't aggregate him in a trade, but, like, can you maybe flip him into some? Like I talked about on As It Stands Lakers, I'd love to see the Lakers get under the tax, right? Like, they got to clear something like 8-10 million. Could you convince somebody to just, like, take Kleber? Like maybe give up like a pick swap or something, because I don't think a team would do it for just 1 second. That's all you have. And you're not trading a first to do that. So, could you trade a pick swap? I mean, you're going to have Luka for the next 10 years, right? So as long as, even if it's like the, whatever, what is it, 2028 or whatever, like if you do a pick swap with that, like you're fine. Who cares? But maybe a team would do that, just in case, or in case Luka leaves or whatever. Now they could have a good pick. It's a possibility, probably unlikely. But regardless, like even if the Lakers kept Cleveland, like he's fine. Like he makes sense. Slot him in at the 4, slot him in at the 5, right? Especially if you end up trading, say like a Christian Wood or something. He's a guy that again has chemistry, has familiarity playing alongside Luka, but a guy that could actually be a rotation piece, a guy that is actually a very solid, very good basketball player. So I wouldn't hate that. Markieff Morris, right? Obviously he was with us when we won the championship back in 2020. He's not that guy anymore, but I still think, he's sizable forward. You're not looking for him to be, a 30-minute a game guy, but I do think Markieff Morris can come in and play a role for the Lakers. Like I think genuinely Markieff Morris can come in and, just give you some production, give you some toughness, right? Which is something that you need, and you can never really go wrong with just having a, 6'8", 6'9" guy on your bench. That in a pinch, you could bring in and let him run. Again, he can't be aggregated either, so do you swap him for a different vet minimum guy that you like? Maybe. Kind of just like swap things. It's always a possibility. We'll see. Time will tell. But Lakers obviously need to find a center. They need to do all kinds of stuff, and Rob kind of touched on that. The center market's not great right now, and everyone's still asking crazy prices. And I'm sure no one wants to, especially after the Dallas situation, I'm sure no one wants to, help the Lakers any. Everyone's very upset about it, which isn't Rob Pelinka's fault, right? Like, you can't blame Rob. Rob did his job, right? Like, they called him. Every owner, every organization, period, would have done that if they had the opportunity. It's not Rob's fault. Blame, Nico Harris. But, look, Luka's in LA. This is the beginning of a new era. Obviously, the AD and LeBron era is over. Got a championship out of it. We all still love AD. I mean, the guy, not on him, right? I mean, he's great. I would have loved to keep him, right? But unfortunately, I mean, unfortunately is probably the wrong word. I mean, again, you just got anywhere from the 2nd to 5th best player in the league, right? Like, it's pretty good, right? It's not really a bad thing, right? You got an upgrade. I do think Anthony Davis, for his two-way capability, and I've even talked about, Anthony, like the best version of Anthony Davis is probably the best player in the league. Right? You talk about a guy that go get you 40, 20, with like 3 blocks or 2 steals and just completely control a game from both sides of the court. Very few guys, period, that can do that. But got a 25-year-old superstar phenom who's motivated, who's hungry. He talked about how, no, there was no indication that I wasn't going to re-sign or anything, that I wasn't going to sign the Supermax, right? He didn't want to leave. You could tell he's blindsided by this, right? And, now you have the Lakers. They're going to, obviously going to have to appease him and stuff like that. Like his training people, Rob Pelinka even talked about how, we're working with his training staff and stuff like that, to integrate them into the Lakers family and stuff. And, Luka's like smiling about that and all that. Like, look, Lakers know how to cater to superstars. Lakers know superstars, right? They've had, a top 10 player pretty much their entire existence. So, all-time player, really. So, look, Luka's one of those guys that he's going to love it here. He even said, like, I got the beach, I got the ocean, right? He's got the water, which is very big to him. Fans are going to embrace him. Fans are going to love him. He's going to be the face of LA, right? Like, dude, the guy's in the best place he could be outside of Dallas, of course, because that's where he loved to be. That's where his heart was, right? But overall, like, good things are coming, right? Are we going to be able to put the roster and get the roster together in a sense to where we can win a championship? I don't know. It's going to be tough, right? Even Rob said, that, they got to figure some stuff out, and, they need a center. probably more likely you get it in the offseason type thing, which is not wrong, but you gotta do what you can do. You gotta get what you can get. If you can get, a serviceable center, go get a serviceable center. I just don't, anybody but Jackson Hayes, right? Like, again, Jackson Hayes, he's had some great games, has some great moments. He's not a real starting center. But as long as you have Luka, and especially LeBron, you're a contender. You have a chance, right? Like, Luka and LeBron by themselves could probably win, 2 or 3 playoff games a series, right? So you're in great shape. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you shocked by this? Are you like, wow, didn't think that this was actually real? Didn't think that this was coming? Is it setting in for you like it is for me? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.